Welcome to another guide, and I won't be playing in this one, and it's also not a recording of me playing. I actually got knocked out in 5th place right here, but I was spectating some of the best players in the game, these top 4 players right here, and what happened was absolutely crazy. So we're gonna jump into it and check it out together. So first up we got Bada Bing Bada Boom, and he is playing your classic 6 air with some shock in there as well. He actually kicked me out, so I'm a bit mad at him. We got the Swiss, the Octius right here. So yeah, a pretty standard 6 air composition right here. He doesn't have the stage 3 Moot, which is usually one of the main carries. He has the stage 3 Lynx instead. And he's playing versus Squawk right here, who is sitting on 80 health with a Gnarl Colossus, a Kara Dulux right here with Harbinger. The Axon also obviously having Harbinger at Dual F right here, plus an Ombre, so Steam activated. If you ever matched versus those two in combination, those are deadly, especially the Umber. And then also a Riot Lens to bring you with the Toxic, a stage 3 Doka, and yeah, an overall very deadly team. So let's see what happens and let's see how it turns out. Well, actually we're gonna swap over to Fox Spirit and see the other two teams, which are also just as crazy as you would expect it to be. We got a Seer right here with the Scoriox, 2 stage 3 tier 4 units with Magma activated. The Seer will also give us Behemoth with the Ranger right here with the tier 1 stage 2 weapon. And then we also have the Krunk activated, just an insane tank, but he doesn't really have the augments to go with it, as has the Seer doesn't really have the augments. So I think a little bit of a blunder right here if I want to start analyzing. Why do we have 2 augments on a stage 1 unit instead of the stage 3 Behemoth Magma activated unit? So I would definitely like these augments over here, maybe even on the Krunk. Like, it's going to be better on anything than a stage 1 unit. I don't think Squiz is going to make the cut. But we're going to see how he performs. He's playing versus Sprites right here from Phantom. And Sprites right here, he has the stage 3 Mammoth, which is just a beast with 3 defensive augments right here. Then we have a Axon right here giving Harbinger with the Mammoth. The enemy Seer with, I think that Slayer was able to jump into the middle of everyone. So that's a crazy addition, giving the Seer Slayer. Maybe he gave that to the Seer last second and just it was a surprise jump. So that's why we also have... Well, we have Behemoth, we have Empath, we have Scion, we have Bulwark here. I guess the Slayer doesn't connect to anything. It just gives the Seer the option to jump in the backline. If that's really good, I don't know. Fox Spirit here got really annihilated by Sprite's team. So now Fox Spirit is up versus Squawk right here. Squawk with the insane Steam Harbinger Colossus team. So very, very funky, very crazy. And we're gonna see how that performs. In the meantime, let's fast forward a little bit. There's not too much to talk about. Again, I don't like the itemization on the Squiz when you have so many other good units. For example, Scion on the Flood as well. Why not just put 2 big Omega Power items on the Seer? I think he's gonna perform so much better. And also, we could put something more on the Blotto right here. Alright, overall the Riot Lens is annihilating the Seer, it looks like. Needs 1 more cast here. And we'll be able to finish him off. Everybody else is still standing strong. And Squawk seems to have a crazy team and he kicks out Fox Spirit. I wonder if anyone can take him down. No spoilers here. I can barely remember the game. I don't even know what happened. Let's be surprised together and see how this one turns out. So again, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, save some time here, because we're not seeing the PvE round, I believe. Next up, we got Squawk versus Sprites right here. So again, both of them are playing Harbingers. I don't know if that was just something they got offered, so they took it, or maybe it came to them on its own. But yeah, Dual F instantly dies from the enemy Octius, who has Invoker. So we have Invoker active at Squawk's side. We also have a Gaze right here, which gives us Mystic. So an overall absolutely crazy team. Now we're gonna swap over to Squawks and see and check out his team. he's nicely enough, he's inspecting his team so we can have a look what happened there. Right. Okay, so we got 6 Scion, which we don't see a lot, right? We have 1 Scion emblem, so it's actually 5 Scions on the team. We got 3 Earth, we got 4 Water, with Synalf giving us Invoker, the Invoker emblem giving Octius Invoker, which is huge. Then we have stacking Omega Power right here, not a third completed augment yet, and still Octius is doing so much damage. Then we have Mystic right here on the Adoredo. Adoredo is we only need 2 more Ados to get an Adorius to actually get 4 Mystic, which would be pretty insane, right? The other one is Gazier right here giving us Mystic. Then our Ranger giving us the 3rd Harbinger stack next to our Mammoth, and also the Axon is wedged in between here. And yeah, we got Invoker also here. We didn't even Mystic here with the Apon. We didn't even get Invoker from the Sea Forest, so there's a lot of improvement potential for this team still. I think the main carry right here is definitely the Invoker emblem on the Octius, boosting his damage so much, plus the stage 3 Mammoth with 3 big defensive augments is just a beast, and then we have Mystic as well being very strong. Alright, let's fast forward a little bit and see how he goes. He also has a Shock emblem right here, which is decent damage, but not really game changing. What I'm excited to see is if he can finish an Ophisto here or an Adorius, which would be huge. So he was playing versus the PvE round right here, and he got a bunch of money out of that. And what I would suspect right here is him rolling for that 2 more Squizzes or that 2 more Adorados, right? Takes him a while to clear the PvE round, and he gets like, I don't know, 50, 60 gold out of that, right? So usually that late in the game, on the PvE round on wave 32, you can have a free level up or a lot of rerolls. And what he does here is very surprising to me, because Sprites, sorry if I said Squawk earlier, I'm talking about Sprites here the whole time. Sprites is choosing maybe to reroll a little bit, right? Because he found 1 squiz, he's just 1 squiz off. But now I guess he gets to that threshold where he needs, for example, 60 gold, and he has 60 gold. So he has to make a decision. So he has 60 gold. He needs 60 gold to level up, and he has 60 gold. I think that's the situation right now. And he decides to level up instead of rolling more and finding the Ophisto. And this is very surprising to me, because I think the Ophisto will guarantee you a free win. But leveling up to level, what is it, 3, 6, 9 to level 9 is, and bringing in 1 more Adorado, because I think that's what he does, I don't think that's really game changing. So it's very surprising to me that he didn't roll for that 1 squiz, seeing that his enemy Squawk is not contesting the squiz, he's not taking it away. So it seems like it would have been pretty free. Whoop, my resolution. We got a little bit screwed up there. There we go. So kind of surprising to me. He's leveling up, and now we can see it. He's bringing in the Adorado to get in a little bit more heal. I actually hit him up after this match and asked him about it, and he said he just felt like he needed a little bit more heal instead of trying his luck and actually bringing in another unit. He wasn't fast enough, so the Octius actually got automatically placed. There's also a lot going on, right? That late in the game, you have to do the augments, redo the augments, do the placement, and all of that stuff. So he was also just, in a hurry, leveled up, and then the Octius got automatically placed. And it was still enough to beat his enemy, which is just crazy to me, because Squawk right here has 7 Bulwark, which is a little bit of an overkill, right? We can definitely see mistakes from his enemy right here as well, where he just got a bunch of Bulwark emblems, which he didn't need in the end. So both of those Bulwark emblems are pretty useless. Gives a little bit of resistance to the dual F, but he's stuck with having to play Axon because there's Harbinger. He has to play, obviously, his 2 Colossus, and then his Ranger also needs to be Colossus, so he also has to play him. And then he's also fishing for a Titanor. He could swap out the Goliath, but once he finds the Titanor, he's pretty much stuck with having to play 7 Bulwark, but you get the last threshold at 5. So, yeah, oftentimes you cannot really predict what's going to happen, and you're going to get those Colossus. But if he was going for Colossus, or if you are going for Colossuses, and for Harbinger, in that case, maybe don't get all these Bulwark emblems if you can avoid it. because you don't want to end up with 7 bulwarks. It would have been better if he had like 3 fighters here, a 3rd Harbinger or whatever it is. Anyhow, we have 30 seconds on our hand, and enemy here, Squawk from Monarch, is actually finding the Titan, which is pretty crazy to me, because now we also have 5 bulwarks. 5 bulwarks, 7 bulwarks and 5 Colossus, which is definitely an overkill, and we're lacking a little bit of damage. We have good damage dealers though. We have a Ripelands, we have a Umber, and we have a Dualef. If any of these guys gets a nice entry and a nice opportunity to deal damage, this would be huge. The problem is, usually this Octius is actually one-shotting the Dualef. So because that is happening, what I would suggest here to Squawk to actually take some of these augments. For example, Harbinger is going to give you some resistances, or Earth. So I don't know why we have Earth on the Caradulux, which is tanky enough. It doesn't need Earth as well. And just put that Earth on the Dualef, which is your main win condition. If Dualef stays alive, you win. If he gets one-shot by the Octius, you lose. So again, on both, here I'm very surprised about earlier Fox Spirit and also now Squawk's itemization. That being said, I usually make a lot of mistakes with augments as well, because you have to think about positioning, you have to think about re-rolling, leveling up, and then you have to also make all these augments, and then you have to put it on the right units. And if they're already on the right units, you have to remove the units and redo them. So all of this takes a lot of time, and oftentimes I'm in the same boat. I don't have perfect itemization, which oftentimes can lead to a loss. Because just putting this Earth or another good augment, or Colossus even, whatever it is. I also think our Umber, our second win condition, doesn't have the best augments right here. Harbinger would be way better on Umber. We don't need to buff our Colossus. We have 5 Colossus and 7 Bulwarks. We don't need augments on our defensive units. They don't need to get stronger. We need to make sure we have the best units on our offensive augments, Dualef and Umber right here. Alright, let's see what happens, and let's see if my predictions come true, and Dualef will actually be one-shot again, and Umber will not be able to do enough. So Dualef, beautiful laser, boom. Let's watch that again. So Dualef has a perfect laser, right? In here. Doing a lot of damage. But here, Octius cast, boom, he's gone. So I'm not sure if it would have made a difference, but at least trying to have those better augments, not on your tanks, but on your damage dealers, could have made a difference. Also, for example, right here, our Umber, the Colossus emblem, sure, pretty good. But the other stuff doesn't really provide that much value. Like for this one, for example, so weak in the late game. Like drop aggro for 2 seconds. Whatever, man. Give me a freaking Harbinger, which is going to give me a lot of resistances and so on. Give me a Blightfire. Give me, that's like 400 health and a really big debuff, which would have been applied to all of them. Even Earth. Like I just don't think that the priority in itemization is good from here, from Squawks, because he has too many good augments on his tanks, which he has enough of, not enough good augments on his damage dealers, which would have had to stay alive. And if Dualef had like 3 more seconds, he would have lasered down his whole team right here. But that's gonna be it, and that's gonna be Sprites from Phantom. Absolute monster team. He was able to beat Fox Spirit with it. He was able to beat everybody in here with it and managed to get first place. Big congratulations. And I also know that Sprites was actually able to kill Slicks with this team composition as well. So watch out, guys. This team composition with 6 Scions, Harbingers, this is something that Fox Spirit and Slicks and other good players are going to be adopting now, because they have been beaten by it. Big shout out to Sprites for probably finding out this team. I've never seen anyone play this before, but probably somebody has. But yeah, Sprites right here definitely dominating the lobby. And I wanted to show you guys this quickly, because I think there's a lot of things to be learned by looking at this team, also looking at itemization of other players and so on. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.